Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Okay, never mind. The U.S. and Iran appear to be holding their fire this weekend following nearly 2 weeks of intensifying bombing after President Trump spent the past week teasing a, quote, massive attack on Iran. The New York Times reports that President Trump has set aside for now plans to sharply escalate the American military assault, adding that a particular concern is that intensifying the war could dangerously drain the Pentagon's already diminished stockpile of Patriot air defense munitions. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung told The Times that the president has always been consistent, that he prefers a diplomatic solution, but is keeping all options on the table. A senior White House official tells MS Now that Trump met with top advisors and cabinet members on Friday to weigh escalating military action against Iran. Despite the lull in fighting, tensions remain high in the region. And the U.S. military said Saturday that it's enforcing its naval blockade of Iranian ports. It disabled a commercial ship Friday that the U.S. says it tried to violate the blockade. Adding to the uncertainty, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, that is an evergreen sentence, plans to meet with Trump in Washington on Tuesday. We are joined now by some of our favorite guests, Lara Seligman, the Wall Street Journal national security reporter, and Alan Eyre, former senior U.S. diplomat and distinguished diplomatic fellow at the Middle East Institute. He was a senior member of the Obama administration's negotiating team for the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Wait, Lara or Laura?
Lara.
Lara. So sorry.
Common mistake.
Lara
Croft.
Oh, yes, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
We love Lara Croft.
Yes, I do too.
I'm wondering, Laura, if you could just give us sort of a table setter. Your paper had some excellent reporting last week about the president's private beliefs that a diplomatic off-ramp here seems unlikely, and that the only thing Iran can respond to is a what was the phrase that was used in Josh's reporting? It was something about bombing the crap out of them. But
of course,
where are we now? Because I do feel like we joke about this all the time, and it's not funny, but we are. If you looked at the headlines, you might think that we're back in February.
Right. It's certainly been a roller coaster of a week. We started off the week with the president vowing some major escalation, even potentially bombing Pickaxe Mountain, which is the underground facility where Israel believes that Iran has stashed, have moved a bunch of centrifuges, thousands of uranium enrichment centrifuges in the fall. But now last night was the second night in a row that we've paused strikes after 12 straight days of striking Iran. So what's going on exactly? I think there's a couple of different options. It could be that there was some diplomatic breakthrough that we don't know about. It could be, as was reported, that General Kane, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, were raising concerns in this meeting on Friday about munition stockpiles, specifically air defenses. It's possible, but from what I've heard, all options are still on the table. There could still be a major escalation in the coming days. We just don't know for sure.
The pause is honestly scary when it had been so consistent for so long.
Silence is scary.
By the way, the quote I was looking for was Trump is in revenge mode against Tehran.
Yes, revenge mode.
Revenge for? I'm not sure since we started this. Yesterday we had on CIA Director John Brennan and talked about whether or not, what he feels about the world, where it's going. Listen to what he said to Anthony.
Do you feel like this escalation that he keeps teasing is about to happen? And talk to us about boots on the ground and whether or not that is still a viable option for this president to bring the war to an end more quickly.
Well, clearly I think he's flailing right now because, as pointed out, he doesn't really have a good plan or way ahead. We've launched massive attacks, repeatedly against Iran, and they've not capitulated. They're not going to give up. It pains me to say, this is an unwinnable war for the United States.
Do you agree with that? Is this an unwinnable war?
He stole my talking points. I'm done. Take that.
You can go.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, President Trump is flailing. The Iranians are not going to capitulate on their red lines as a result of more kinetic force. We're back to where we were before, which is Iran says the U.S. broke the MOU because it had control or administrative control of the Strait of Hormuz. It is going to insist on that. That is a red line. So you will have to pry that from their cold, dead fingers. They need it for strategic leverage. The U.S. doesn't want that to happen. President Trump's best case scenario, which he won't be able to achieve, is getting the Strait of Hormuz back to the way it was February 28th. 100 to 130 ships a day passing through, global economy getting the blood it needs to keep pumping.
So Laura just mentioned in her great setup about the dwindling supply of munitions and air missiles. My question for you, are we less safe today as a country than we were 5 months ago?
No different. Iran was never a threat in the short or midterm to the United States. They didn't have nuclear weapons. They don't have missiles that can reach us. So we're as safe as we've ever been from a purely military point of view. Economically, oil's up 35%, gas and diesel is up 40%, jet fuel's up 50%, home heating oil 60%, European LNG over 100%.
But I guess my question is about preparation right now, right? The conflict in Iran is not the only global hotspot. And so with the dwindling supply of munitions and missiles and all those type of things, I just wonder, are we less prepared to defend ourselves?
Oh, I see your point. Massively. Yeah, we've squandered our seed corn, wasted our capital, burned through our bankroll. We don't have a significant number now of air defense missiles as we did before. These things take a long time to build. So, yeah, again, if China is the air quote pacing threat, then we really have shot ourselves in the foot repeatedly.
One of the things that has been maybe disturbing is the word I will choose. We'll see as I go. That the administration has done when talking about the war and kind of presenting it to the American people is that it seems largely based on vibes and then also kind of like crap posting their way through it. So on just yesterday, Katy Perry, that was for those that were confused by the lyric from Jackie, that was what she was doing. Katy Perry deeply appalled if the White House uses firework in military strikes TikTok video. I did not approve this. I was not asked, and I absolutely do not condone it. And I think the lyric that they were using was the boom, boom, boom part of the song. I am military, Brian. So I remember when administrations were very serious about wars. When they posted about it on the internet, it wasn't to make a joke about it. It wasn't to make it go viral. It was about giving people information and making the American people feel safe. You covered the Pentagon. How do these kind of things land there?
Well, this is the least transparent Pentagon that I've ever covered. There is so little information coming out of that building. I mean, if we were, back in the height of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, we'd have reporters on the ground. They'd be embedded. They'd be reporting on people dying, and as a very serious subject, they'd be reporting on it all the time. We'd be having press briefings. The Pentagon Secretary Hegseth has not had a press briefing since May, I think.
May 5th.
And there's it's so hard to get any information. So, they give us the bare minimum, and I think that's really scary, honestly, especially with all the pressure on President Trump right now. Don't forget, we have the Strait of Hormuz, you have the Red Sea, and there's just a lot of pressure, and it's getting very scary that he could really escalate the situation.
With no information, not just to us, but more importantly to the American people. Lars Seligman / Croft, Alan Ayer, thank you both for coming back to The Weekend.